Okay, what's up, guys? My name is Marc Augustine. If you follow me for a while, you know who I am. If you have not, I've been drop shipping for the past 10 years. I'm from Trinidad and Tobago. I lived in the US. I lived in also 7 different countries: the US, Trinidad, Canada, Belgium, Costa Rica, Colombia, Panama. I'm missing somewhere. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I have a degree in math. I have 2 degrees in mathematics. I studied in the US. And in this video, I'm interviewing Victor. Now, before I introduce who Victor is, Victor, who are you?
Okay, well, my name is Victor Enriba. I am 30 years old. I've been an actor for the past 7 years, graduated from Stanford with a management science and engineering degree, and am in the process of trying to reshape and recalibrate right now I guess even during the pandemic right now. Yeah.
And okay, and I know in this video, we're going to talk about Facebook marketplace drop shipping and how we're here and how Victor got into it. But how does a Stanford graduate transition to being an actor?
Oh, okay. So it sort of happened by happenstance, really. At the time, it was after I graduated, I was working as a gaming analyst for Caesars. And during the
Caesars,
weekend,
when you say Caesars, the casino.
yeah, Caesars Entertainment Corporation. It's actually, it was bought out by Harrah's,
Right.
but they kept the Caesars brand just because it was more recognizable. And what I would do is I'd be in one of the offices and just be monitoring different statistics for each of the casinos, depending on the region. And with the slots, that just mostly had to do with volume, the amount of win, and then sometimes we'd be even looking at like people that were advantage players, which is just a code word for maybe not cheating so much as gaming the casino a little bit. So during the week, or at a certain point, I was like looking for something to do during the weekends, and I started taking acting classes. And then at the end of that class, and it was sort of, I don't know, at the end of that class, there was a showcase. I did an audition, and that was when I met my agent, or at least my first agent. I mean,
Right.
I've had a few over the years, and then from there, I talked with my supervisors at Caesars, and they were very encouraging. So I left, or I mutually resigned, drove down to Los Angeles in April of 2014, 2015. I think it was 2014, April 2014. And
Okay.
that was when I started my life in California. And then at that point I was doing like tutoring and different odd jobs on the side, just because at that point I had tried other jobs, but I kept getting removed once I had an audition and I had to, go pursue it. But it was through tutoring, I found someone that led me to another agent. And that was when within a few months, I then booked a series called Shameless. It's on Showtime. I
Call
did
what? Call what?
Shameless.
Shameless. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Um, did that for a few episodes, and then did a few other things, maybe one guest star and a pilot that failed, and then other things in between. But pretty much what um, the catalyst for me being in Wisconsin today was that around 2020, I had booked something, and then right when the pandemic scare started, it went on hiatus indefinitely.
Oh, wow.
So pretty much since that time, I've still been pursuing auditions, but it's just been way less consistent, and the parts that are available aren't really. It just got to a point where now I'm like, okay, I'm paying way more for this than I'm gaining from it. I need to, at least for now, find a new strategy. Just come back and regroup. Um, just because now, luckily I don't have too much debt, but I also don't have
A
much in
ton of
terms of
credit.
savings. Yeah.
Okay. And so you're working now, and how did you get to? I know you were. So why we're here now is because I'm managing I'm starting to manage his Facebook Marketplace account, Victor's account.
Yeah.
So how did you get into Facebook Marketplace dropshipping?
Okay, so let's see. So I'd
And
always
just to
been,
throw a plug in there, you guys, you can look at in the description. We have a link to FBM Fox, Facebook Marketplace Dropshipping Suite, and there's a coupon code Mark10. You can get 10% off. There's a free lister, but it's more important, in my opinion. The full suite is very important. But go ahead. Sorry to cut you off, Victor. How do
yeah,
you
no
get to
worries.
Facebook Marketplace Dropshipping?
Yeah, so I'd been looking at drop shipping while I was in California for some time, but never really pulled the trigger, and sort of just didn't think about it too much. And then pretty much around the time I decided to go to Wisconsin, I started looking into it again and found out, this is maybe early 2021, found out that Facebook Marketplace um, was now available to do shipping, right?
Right.
Nationwide. And I understood how cool eBay was because it was already a traffic. It was a place where you didn't necessarily need to advertise because people went to that platform to buy.
Mm.
And so I saw the same thing with Facebook, but like with way more traffic, or daily active users, right? So I thought that's way. I mean, that seemed like a no-brainer. And at around that time, FBM Fox was um, being, or when I did my research on YouTube, checking out, tutorials for FBM, Facebook or FBM Fox was a software that was continuously being recommended.
Right.
And then when I was doing the FBM Fox search, I found you, Marc, Augustine, and you were someone I'd looked at before with eBay dropshipping with AutoDS, I think, right?
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh,
I interviewed the CEO of AutoDS, but I used to do a lot more videos with DSM tools.
DSM2,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
You guys had a bull on it, right? Was that the logo? There was like a bull or?
No, Price Yak is the one with the bull, but
Oh, okay.
yeah. But anyway, go ahead.
And then I saw you were also pursuing FBM Fox, and you
Mhm.
were someone who I had. It's funny because you were someone that's I'd watched the videos and like this guy seems to be very straightforward, no BS,
Right.
and to the point. And then of course, uh, yeah, it was like I remember this guy. Let me keep watching his videos. And at that point, I hadn't done anything really with FBM Fox because I was in the process of figuring out like looked in FBM Fox a little more, watched a little more of the
Mhm.
videos. And that was when I think I
You're breaking up a bit. I'm not sure why.
that connection.
Victor, let me pause this for a second. 1 second.
Okay.
Okay, guys. So I know it seemed like we didn't leave it, we didn't do anything, but I had to go take care of some business, and Victor was here waiting on me. So where we left off is how Victor got into Facebook Marketplace dropshipping. So yeah, Victor. So continue. If you remember where you left off, if you can just give us
Yeah.
go ahead.
So yeah, like I mentioned, things were slowing down with acting, and at that point, I was making, money just to maintain a place there rather than like it, advancing myself in any way really. So when I did ultimately decide to move, my main goals were just sort of take care of the debts, find stable income, just from like any job really, and take advantage of the lower cost of living in Wisconsin versus California.
Okay.
And also just start to figure out how to build other income streams and cash flows. Just pretty much just start with a better foundation, and then if I choose to at the time that I'm ready, I could go back to California and see about acting again. At least that's sort of the amorphous plan, I guess.
And
Um,
what do you consider better foundation? You said, is it
yeah,
a specific like monthly income? What do you consider better foundation?
I think
Is it
it
based on time? Is
is.
it based on cash? What?
It's let's see, with acting, imagine that in terms of what a lot of my ambition and a lot of my goals, I had one pillar, which was acting. And then
Right.
after that dried up, it just became, there was nothing else. I mean, there was, first of all, it just, I don't know, I didn't, if that was the foundation, something that I have no control over completely eliminates that. Um, and Now I just want to actually build things that build me income. And another thing about acting is that it's almost the opposite of a job. It's more of a cost and an expense if you're not working.
Right.
Um, and I hear about so many different ways to make money, investing, crypto, affiliate marketing, other e-commerce strategies. But for the most part, those sort of need you to also have other cash flows as well.
Right.
You can't necessarily start these up and be as effective with like no income or low income. So, I moved to Wisconsin. It's much cheaper here, so I won't have as many expenses, and I can uh, take the money that I'm making working like the 9 to 5 job. I work 3 days a week at the distribution center, and start with online income stream that has a relatively low barrier of entry. So of course, when Facebook Marketplace, I found out about that. And I was already familiar with Mark with DNS, no, with
DSGE and DSM
yeah,
tools and
DSG,
eBay. Yeah. Okay.
yeah, with
Okay.
eBay. And it's funny because those are already e-commerce marketplaces, so you don't have to advertise, except now Facebook has a wider audience.
Right.
So first time I messaged Mark, it was just about Grind Camp, because at that point I was thinking maybe I might save up and see if I could do it. But just based on the timing, we talked a little bit more, and we decided it might be a good idea to do this, remotely, where I don't necessarily have to come in, just because at the time I really couldn't afford to.
Okay. Okay.
And then,
I'm playing with the idea of having Grind Camp at the end of October because one of the 12 first Grind Camp attendees passed away 2 days ago. Her name is Gretchen.
yeah, that's
So
right.
not to like change the tone of the interview, but being a digital nomad, traveling the world, living by it, I've lived pretty much independently for the past 20 years. And because of that, before I had a child, people passing did not have that much significance.
Yeah, the same level of impact.
You know what I mean? And then
Yeah.
Grind Camp was something very personal to me because I live in Nicaragua and there are not many advanced internet marketers here. So it was a way to bring people together in a cheap country. And this wasn't planned. It's Zion's mother who told me that she passed. And when she was here, the only thing she wanted was to have a child. So it was very interesting about us working on her making money online, to have the time to meet people and have a kid. So her passing and having a kid is very significant outside of like making money online and all this stuff. Because Gretchen was a very although she was a bit unfocused, she was a very integral part of why I did Grand Camp. But anyway, sorry to go off, but yeah, go
No.
ahead, Victor.
Oh no, I mean that's sort of it. That's sort of what brought me to it. Just in terms of just a good place to start, in terms of this change in trajectory, at least for now.
Right.
Yeah.
And the interesting thing is, I've been in e-commerce and drop shipping for so long. I personally did not realize the impact that COVID had on the earth. Because drop shipping and e-commerce wise, I could be like, yay, like COVID continuously supports and helps the increase of sales in e-commerce and drop shipping.
Mm-hmm.
And because I am deeply in that for a long time, not for a long time, until like a couple of months ago or a couple of weeks ago, I on a physical, personal, human level, I did not realize the effect that COVID had on the earth. Because the great thing about COVID is that it increased drop shipping and e-commerce sales.
Because more people were inside.
Everyone is inside, everyone's shopping online. It's a weird phenomenon. But on a personal level, in Nicaragua, I'm not locked down. I don't wear masks. I haven't thought about it. I had COVID a year ago. And the data says because I had COVID, I don't need the vaccine for probability wise. Let's not get into the politics and the science or whatever.
Yeah.
So I lived a very different life, living in a tropical environment and doing drop shipping. And only now, when you talk about the effect of COVID on your acting career, I had no actual concept of that. Strangely enough, whether it's luck, whether it's foresight, whether it's mathematics, I could be an egotistical idiot and say I'm a mathematician, so I knew, right? Because a lot of people say that. I even used to say that.
Yeah,
I
but
think the size of the effect on the earth, it really blows my mind now.
yeah, it also, it's, I mean, it's hard just because like, in a sense, since you were sort of sequestered from like what's going on in America to begin with, like it's not something you'd even think about, especially in like such a niche career as like acting, you know? Um,
So you did not see the actual huge effect until you left acting. That's what you said.
oh, no, no, no. I mean, I saw it affected it literally, I don't know. Uh, I was, so let's see. So when you do an audition, and the people want to make sure that you don't, the production wants to make sure that you don't accept another offer, they'll pin you. It's called a pin. So that
Right.
just means that, okay, cool. For now, you're not going to be able to accept any work that's within the shoot dates,
Okay.
which is pretty much a formality in letting you know that you booked the job. Two
Okay.
weeks later, that same show is on indefinite hiatus.
Oh wow.
So it was like mid-February was when I got pinned, and then didn't even hear back from them. I had to read it online that
Wow.
due to COVID, it was on hiatus. And so yeah, so that's it definitely affected me, but also just in terms of like being in California, where it was taken, I think, way more seriously than it was in I think just the Western region of America. They took it way more seriously with the indoor mandates, mask mandates. But you know, since moving out from California into the Midwest, you know, there's a whole different vibe. A lot more people that are also opposed to the idea of the vaccine, which is another topic. But yeah, it's, for a lot of people, it's really changed a ton. Like even if you're in like the service industry, it means that a lot of people's hours are either greatly reduced or just completely cut off.
Okay, so a lot of people that are getting into this drop shipping space is out of necessity. These aren't like old school. I think that's what I'm noticing.
Yeah,
Only from what you're saying now. So when I did eBay drop shipping, there were all these entrepreneurs grinding, trying to solve problems. And I feel like this is just intuition, but I feel like because of the timing of Facebook marketplace dropshipping, a lot of people are getting into it out of necessity.
yeah,
And that's a whole different ball game. Or
yeah.
am I wrong?
I think you're
Were you
right.
looking at dropshipping while you were acting pre-COVID?
I looked at it a little bit. Um, I had dabbled with eBay dropshipping, but I was also hesitant to pay for much of anything just because so I had some success with eBay. I was making money, but not enough. And I didn't really know what I was doing in terms of scaling. So I had some experience with drop shipping. But I do think that in terms of what's going on now, with people that are in a position where either their emergency funds are greatly reduced or they've lost their main source of income, a lot of people looking online are looking for, what is it, financial freedom, like that same passive income trope that's that you see over and over on YouTube or anywhere really. But the part that sucks is that,
Is out of necessity.
yeah, when
Because
it
pre
and
this, people are like, I'm making money, I want passive income to get out.
yeah,
Now people are like, I
I
have a
need
little
money.
bit of money,
Yeah,
give me passive income.
yeah.
Jesus.
And based on my experience with eBay and knowing how slow of a build everything is, like it's definitely not the right mindset to go into it. Which is why right now I'm working a job, even though it's not paying great. Like the fact that I know it's consistent is gonna, I don't know, I think a lot of it is patience and
So
not
let's do
panicking
this
when things
because
go wrong.
because you're 30, I'm 38. I
Yeah.
haven't worked a job in 16 years. Let me actually sit down and let's build this Facebook dropshipping account.
Mhm.
And I don't want to promise 10 grand a month, 20 grand a month like the idiots online. because it bothers me that people are making decisions based on necessity.
Yeah.
But my goal with this is that anyone looking at this, you can follow me on Instagram. There's a link in the description. Um, to show that you can make actual 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 dollars a month
Yeah.
without a huge investment. Because Amazon, because of the payment, Walmart, because of the payment period, you need to tie up a lot of credit. And if you don't know what you're doing, you could end up like Dropship Tyler, which is another story. But all right, like this is
Yeah.
interesting. Okay.
So in a sense, it's like right now I'm at the point where I think I don't necessarily need to eliminate my, or like get to a point where I can quit my job in the next 6 months. It's mostly, at least for me, proof of concept, understanding the strategies behind FBA Marketplace, and then maybe even reinvesting, getting to a point where I can reinvest some of that into a different type of e-commerce platform, or maybe take a look at like what's going on with the Facebook Marketplace numbers and see if I can even make like a specific store based on a product that's selling well, or you know what I
Okay,
mean? Just
okay.
look,
And I did Facebook shops.
yeah. And
Yeah.
then from there, maybe even diversifying to different types of um, uh, income streams, as well. You say that you're doing crypto. I'm also anyway, but
Yeah, but that's a whole
essentially
other.
this is just a nice
Yeah.
starting point. Yeah.
Okay, so guys, if you're watching this, like the video, subscribe. If you have questions for myself or Victor, please feel free. This is an interesting interview because I didn't expect it to go here. But Victor, I look forward to working with you and we'll publish. My goal is to publish 3 videos a week on
Okay.
Victor's Facebook Marketplace account. So you guys can see a realistic view of what's possible, what you can do, and not make any decision based on necessity, because that's a very
Yeah.
that's a strange place to be. But yeah, like the video, subscribe to the channel. I'll put a link to our social media handles in the description. If you have any questions, put in the comment section. Chat FPM Fox, 10% off Mark 10, the whole all the nine. But yeah. Anything else you want to say to the audience before we leave, Victor?
Um, I would say, well, I don't want to get ahead of myself, but don't try to get everything at once. I think take it slow. I mean, it's not going to happen overnight. I guess that's what I expect.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see that. Thanks a lot, brother. So guys, like the video, subscribe. Have a good one. Peace. And check the description for all the links, the discounts, the free courses, paid courses. Have a good one, guys.